Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts may or may not resonate. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, it's a timely reading. If you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we do have, I did a short meditation beforehand, and the underlying energy for the tarot came out as the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands energy is talking about the element of fire. The wands are made of wood, so they fuel the fire, and this is about taking passionate action. So this actually represents someone who is bringing in the harvest of their actions on a cycle. And there's only 10 wands available, so they've completed the process, and they are now bringing the harvest in. And so this is talking about, this is a heavy load, and you can see this person is really finding it challenging to carry this load. Do you want to come up here, Stella? Here you go. Good girl. Is that good girl? Sorry, my kitty wants to be part of this reading. You were asleep in the other room, and I thought I would do without you for this one, but nope. All right, so she's here. She likes to sit on my lap and purr for the readings. All right, we do have, this person is bringing in their harvest. It's a heavy load, and as you can see, he's having a bit of difficulty getting it there. If you've ever heard the saying, can't see the forest for the trees, this is talking about being so enmeshed in the details that you can't see the big picture anymore. He can't tell that he is so close to home. Like he's maybe 10 minutes away here. He feels like he's way further away from reaching his goal than he is. And this is representing an energy that a lot of people fall into, that, just as you're about to get to your goal, that's when people have a tendency to give up right before. So this card is saying, don't give up, keep going. It's also talking about some of these burdens. These wands could be heavy with the fruit of your labor. So some of them are heavy, hopefully all of them are heavy with really good shift that you've harvested. Some of them, though, could be burdens that you're carrying for other people. And this is basically saying that it's time to put the burdens down. And if they don't belong to you, you need to put them down because this load is getting too heavy. It also can say that you might need to delegate responsibility to some other people because it's too much for just one person to do. Maybe your schedule's been super busy and you're exhausted. So it's talking about doing things slightly differently if you need to, delegating, and definitely putting down any burdens that do not belong to you. And we have, for the underlying energy for the reading, from the my oracle, Tales from the Vector. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. We do have Guiding Star, and the Guiding Star energy is talking about the crown chakra and using your intuition. So she's one of the Pleiadian sisters of the seven, and this is talking about each of the chakras. Your crown chakra is where your intuition is strongest. Now, we do have, for the first card out, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D. And, of course, a big part of that is money. So the pentacles are represented by coins, and they represent the element of earth. And so this is about earthly matters and like the physical matter of earth. And this is the only card out of all the pentacle energy where it's talking about someone actually making money. You could have all the money in the world, but if you don't, it doesn't mean you're living the lifestyle that you want to live. So the pentacle energy is more about lifestyle than just making money. But this particular card is the only one out of all the pentacles where the person is literally making money, pounding out a coin here. And so this is talking about really being very focused on a project. You may already have 6 done. I feel that this is the energy it's talking about just before you completed this harvest. You have 6 done, and you're working on the 7th, and you only have this 8th to go. So this was been, you know, at some point before you reach the 10 here. And you can see how focused this person is on their work. And so this energy is talking about all the work that you've put into this, I feel. The actions that you've taken. Although we only have 8 here, so maybe at least 2 wands here are the burdens of other people that you need to put down. And we have the Magician. The Magician is talking about, you know, it's an energetic upgrade, 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. It's about bringing your thoughts down to the earth and creating a beautiful garden, as above, so below. And you have all the tools you need on this bench. You just need to learn to use which tool in which place, and you know, how to use them. And this is, you know, you may have noticed if you've ever had a garden that the tools, if you leave them laying around, they don't get up and do the job for you. You have to put your effort in, is what this is saying. And then we do have the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is talking about a cup of love coming in. This is the knight in shining armor, to save the damsel in distress. And this energy is talking about a cup of love coming through. Now, this would most likely be romantic love, but the cups in general are not necessarily about romantic love. They can be love of anyone or anything, and they can also be love of something you love to do or something you love to be. So this is some sort of information, communication coming in regarding love. And then we have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords energy is you meditating and praying and wanting to put your mind to rest. You might have something very heavy on your mind and I feel like it's this energy here of carrying other people's burdens. We do have, maybe perhaps you've decided, maybe there's a cup of love coming in, or you want to offer a cup of love. You've been hard at work so that you'll be able to provide for whoever it is, and have good, you know, the energy in place. And so this could be someone coming towards you, or this could be your energy wanting to approach someone and wanting to quiet your mind, though. There's something heavy on your mind, and it has to do with actions that have been taken. Now, we have you going into a church, it looks like, praying and meditating. This is about putting your mind to rest and hanging your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind on the wall. So the subconscious mind is formed by the time you're 6 or 7, and this is talking about, you know, the thoughts mostly of the people that were raising you. When you think about it, you don't remember very much under the age of kindergarten, and especially not when you're a baby. But when you are a baby, that is like in that first year alone, look at how much a baby learns. You know, it's incredible how much they learn to do in 1 year. And this is talking about absorbing like a sponge their environment, the environment that is provided by your caregivers. When you're up to about the age of 6, it's significantly imprinted on you. And we all carry that energy well into our adulthood. And it can be problemsome, though, because it's really the thoughts of other people and the culture that they are in, the choices that they have made, you know, about their life, like the religion they follow, the culture they're in, the you know, the environment they live in, whether that, you know, where that is in the world, and also is it rural, is it city, you know, what is their profession, all of this, even the food they eat, this is all heavily imprinted on you. So the subconscious mind, when we get worried or upset, that's the mind that pops up, and it's like not the most reliable. Then we have the unconscious mind, which is your spiritual needs. And most people would say, I am a human being with a soul. But from a soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle. And so this energy is talking about your spiritual needs. And if they're not met, the unconscious mind will start to become very loud and argue with the subconscious and conscious mind. The conscious mind is, you know, you have a handle on it. You know, you can say, this is what happened. you know, and give memory of what happened, and you have clarity on it. It's you're conscious of what has gone on. So if you can get these three working together by through meditation and prayer, learning to quiet your mind instead of letting it run you, you run your mind, then you can really get into a position where you can plug into your heart and your authentic desires. And this is, on this stained glass window is the word Pax, P-A-X, and this is representing peace of mind. When we have peace of mind, we're more likely to be able to live a much better lifestyle. And then we have the Six of Wands. Now, I feel like when I see this, this is a card of victory. This is like, glory, hallelujah. Like you're feeling, look how proud, you know? And there's a laurel wreath saying that you won here. And then we have the 5 in the background there. You may have been carrying like 4 wands here that were not your burdens to carry. So no wonder you felt so laden down. And this is talking about victory. And the victory comes because you're able to be in a position of leadership, because you were able to rein your emotions in and discipline your mind so that you go after your authentic desires and you have clarity in that. This is the people in the background here could be people whose wands you put down. You know, there might actually be 5. Half of the load you were carrying might have been the burdens of other people, and the other half would have been your harvest from your hard work. So that's a lot of energy to be caring for other people. And so we'll see what happens here now that we've had victory in that. Looks like you've had a dark night of the soul. So something happened and you realized, like, I can't, you know, like the thing is, you clearly made it home because you've had victory. But when you laid down the burdens, maybe you realized, holy smokes, I was carrying a lot of weight, that type of energy. And so you might have had a dark night of the soul, which is when your foundation is seriously shaken. And the hermit represents you going inward and doing a lot of meditation and prayer to recover from that energy. And you clearly have been successful. When the hermit gets, when his lantern becomes full of the light of the North Star, which is your destiny, then his rod lights up and he knows, okay, it's time to come down from the mountain and take action. And I feel that's what you did. And when you did, it's brought you into a leadership role instead of being burdened down by other people. And then we have using your intuition. So definitely this is talking about using the intuition. This dragon is also from Russia. And or no, sorry, from Russia. I mean from the Ukraine. My crystal is from this is Sharite, and it's from Russia. But the this particular dragon, she is from the Ukraine, and she is Grandma Anna, and that was my maternal grandmother, and so. This energy is talking about using your intuition at a high level. So this stone, Charoite, actually brings your crown chakra into your heart energy, and that's exactly what we're talking about here. Good choice. And this is talking about the high priestess sitting in between 2 pillars. And these are 2 extremes, and she has all this information pouring in. And you know, we live in a time where there is a lot of information, and information does equal energy. So the more energy you have, the more things tend to speed up. And so this is talking about a lot of information coming in from these 2 extremes. And the way that the high priestess is known for being able to deal with this, she might ask a logical question, but then she wants an intuitive answer. So, you know, if you ask a logical question, you might get 10 logical answers. But then you're sort of wondering, well, which one is best for me? Because they all would work, but which one is the right one for me? And that's when your intuition needs to kick in. And so a lot of times people confuse their brain with their mind. Your mind is when you're, you know, it's your will and your thinking. Your brain is your central nervous system. It's the brain and the components of the spine. And that is where all the sensations in your body come from. And that energy, if you quiet your mind, then you're able to feel in the sensations. So you can feel actually from the sensations. A lot of people, if they are energetically weak to something, they'll describe it as a drop, like an elevator, boom, dropping. You know that feeling you get when an elevator does that? It's a lot of people describe weak energy as that, and strong energy, it makes you want to stand up straight, and you're like, that's the one that's sticking out. So, or then you can choose one of those 10 answers using your heart and your feeling, and you're more likely then to be embracing your authentic desires rather than just some logical answer. And it can work the other way as well. You could ask an intuitive question and then apply logic to it. So, but if you do that, you're using your central nervous system which is your brain, and your mind and your heart all working together to be able to really go after your authentic desires and satisfy your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. And that's when everything's working together. Now, the high priestess, is known for being very joyful because she always can do this, and she does it very quickly. And she is sitting in between two major extremes. This one represents Jesus, and this one represents the devil. And then we have the star energy coming in. So this is definitely talking about this celestial energy. This is this is your North Star energy. This is talking about that North Node energy that shines the light in the lantern. And then these are the Pleiades, and that's where this dragon comes from. She is one of the 7 sisters of the Pleiades, representing all the chakras in the body. And this energy is talking about bringing your own unique special qualities down to earth. First putting your own energy into the universal pool, adding it to that, and then grounding that down on earth. And you notice how the water that she's pouring out from here has 5 streams here, and those 5 streams represent the 5 points on the pentacles. So this is talking about bringing your own unique qualities down to the earth and living the lifestyle that you want to live in your authentic desires. That's awesome energy. And look at this, now we have new love coming through. So this is talking about the sun is shining down on this relationship. It's talking about bringing in a divine partner, and this could be someone that you've never met with the cloud in between. It could be someone that you have met, but it wouldn't be someone that you've already had relationship with. And quite often this can be saying that the lovers could be quite different from their normal type, from the normal person that you would date, because this is God's choice. And especially if you've had disappointment in love, possibly, God is saying this person is like a divine partner that will really empower you to be on your journey, and you will empower them. And so this energy is coming through with this Knight of Cups. I feel this is a romantic relationship. In the beginning, the Lovers card, when tarot first came out, the Lovers was more about choices that we make in our inner circle. Like, who do we allow to come into our inner circle? And that energy is possible as well. So if you're not looking for a new lover, this could be an upgrade in your relationship with your lover. Or it can be talking about, love of yourself, or even love of something you love to do or something you love to be. But generally, this is talking about people that you allow into your inner circle. And maybe you needed to do some cleanup there with all the burdens that you were carrying. And now that you've done that, it's like, look, this is exactly what the Magician is pointing to. What the Magician is pointing to, as above, he's saying, pay attention to this. Who do you have in your inner circle? Are they actually empowering you and having a beautiful lifestyle? Or are you working extra hard and carrying their burdens for them? And that's, I feel like, what has happened here is you are now able to enjoy your own energy, you know, because your time and energy isn't all being used up by other people. So this can free you up for a lover to come in if that's what you're looking for as well. And we do have the Six of Pentacles here. So you see this energy here? This is talking about being breadcrumbed. So I feel like I'm getting that again, like there could be actually 4 burdens that you laid down that belong to other people, because we have the Six of Pentacles or Six of Wands here. And so you have 6 left here. These are the people that you've decided to keep in your inner circle, and you've let 4 people go. I feel it's being shown here as well, that these 6 here are keepers, and the other ones, it's this is talking about you know, once you have brought in this harvest and you had 6 wands that you kept, this is the harvest, and you're giving to charity some of your money so that you can provide charity to this person. But this person, you have the scales of justice over their head, and you're saying, I am not going to give anything to this person. They've got something in their pocket already. This is someone that's a grifter. They don't want to risk their own money, but they're more than willing to risk yours. And there could be some energy that people were working behind the scenes while you were focused on your work here. They were focused on how they could benefit from it. And it wasn't a fair exchange of energy. This card is talking about learning sometimes hard lessons about the give and take in the pentacle energy, and how it can affect your lifestyle. You know, how much time, money, and energy are you investing in other people? Is it a fair exchange of energy? If not, you need to even it out. There's only 10 pentacles, so you only have so much energy that you can work with here, and at any given time. And then we have the 4 of Wands. And so this is after going through this process. I feel like it's really freeing you up. And maybe you have a lover coming in, or you already have met someone, if it is that energy, or you're just moving forward and loving yourself more and keeping making sure that you invest in yourself, that you're not giving your energy away to people who do not appreciate it. And this is talking about the having a strong foundation now for a fulfilling life. And so this is, you know, this also is the official marriage card. So you might have met someone that you actually want to marry now, or that energy could be here. This is kind of saying it's like the beginning of that ultimate fulfillment that you've been looking for. So this is saying you have the down payment for your castle, but you still have to make the mortgage payments. Maybe the question was popped and the answer was yes from both people, but you now have to pour the energy after the wedding. You have to pour the energy into the relationship to keep it fulfilling. And this is talking about unfair competition. Yeah, like I feel that this card is the only card out of the entire tarot where there's like adolescents duking it out like this. And quite often this represents sibling rivalry. It can talk about immature competition. You know, when you're young and you've got siblings and you're vying for attention from your parents and maybe duking it out here and there. You know, it's talking about maybe some jealousy, and which is normal. Siblings have a tendency to fight at times, and but this is also talking about unfair competition. So this can represent the energy of, I always think of this as my Mean Girls card. You know, narcissistic cheerleaders that, you know, they're used to winning, like they made the team and they feel pretty prestigious because of that. And they're used to winning. And so they are talking about, this is, you know, maybe they're at a competition. Do you want to come up here? Come, love. You can come up. You can come up. It's a good girl. Yeah, you silly girl. Oh, now you're leaving again. My cat is being a pain in the butt. She wants to be fed. I forgot to feed her. Well, I'm almost done. We're almost done. Go away. Let me finish this. So this is talking about you know, they're at a competition and they can see there's another team there that is better than them, and they're freaking out because they always win. They have to win. And they really want that trophy. And they'll do anything to win, and including cheat. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure that they do win that trophy. And that, you know, competition, especially in sports with young people, is meant to inspire them to become better. So, you know, if you learn from the competition, if every person on the team decides, okay, we're going to study what that team is doing, and when we come out the next competition, we're going to be able to do that. And then we're going to be really in sync like they are, and we're going to work on this. And if every person on the team is even just 1% better than they were the last time, then the whole team, it's going to be a huge amount of effort that really will be substantially noticed. And maybe then they actually deserve the trophy. And so this is about learning from the competition. When we become more mature, we start to realize the competition is really within ourselves. Can we keep our shift together under stress? That's basically the bottom line. Can we do our best when it matters? And we have judgment coming on this. So there's some sort of judgment I feel on this energy here. There's definitely something going on with that energy, and this is talking about God's judgment and cosmic judgment. So the ancestors are coming out of their boxes. They're so happy judgment has been called. This could say that this goes back quite a ways, and maybe they were not able to clean up everything that they needed to before they crossed the veil. They're waving back and forth to the descendants. Sometimes this can represent skeletons coming out of the closet, and on a larger scale in the world, Pandora's box being opened. And then we have, oh, look at this, a soulmate coming in. So once this judgment is called, I feel that's when this new lover comes in, and it's a soulmate energy. So this is, you have to be able to attract your soulmate. It's a contract between souls that they are going to hook up with each other when they have really pretty much, you know, they've completed most of what they absolutely need to, but they want to enjoy their journey now and continue to working on their divine purpose. And so they come together, and it's representing an energy of both of these people are really strong in their masculine and their feminine energies, very balanced. It's talking about the Hermes symbol, which is talking about a healthy relationship and really strong communication with each other. As well, it's talking about the energy of being very highly connected to source energy, to God, to the Most High, the higher self network, HSN. So this is about your higher self energy communicating with each other. This is very telepathic energy, and coming together. And you can see these two people are going to empower each other. Now, if you're not looking for that energy of this lover, and that it can represent a soulmate that comes in like for business purposes to empower you on your destined path in that way, or even this can represent you coming together and being really even in your masculine and feminine energy and highly connected on the higher self network. And then we have a new passion for moving forward. Some sort of information is going to come in, I feel, with this soulmate. Definitely, that makes sense. And this is about being able to take that passionate action, that feeling like young and exuberant and optimistic, and really enjoying the journey after this, really not being in this energy at all anymore. And this is, the pages would work for the king and the queen from a very young age, 7 to 14, and this would be a feather in their cap to get a job with them. You may think that's really young to start work, but back in those days, the life expectancy was like half of what it is now. And so this would be a real coup. That's why he's got this feather in his cap. He's dressed to the nines. He's being educated. He's learning the ways of the elite. And his main function is to deliver communication. So he's in the know. So this is someone who is like talking about apprenticing with a master kind of energy. And this is could represent mentors that you have and that type of energy. You could even be a mentor yourself now that you're at the top of the pyramid here. But the energy that's significant here is it can be talking about, if, a time frame of when you were 7 to about 21, in elementary school, high school. It could be when you're just starting out in college or university or going out into the workforce. It could be about talking about something, some information coming in from that time frame. It could also be talking about maybe the soulmate is someone from that time frame. It can also represent sometimes someone that you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years. Remember that cloud in between is representing not, this isn't someone that comes back that you've had a significant relationship with before. This is someone that you've met maybe, and then nothing happened with that, but now it's meant to happen. Look at this, we have the Knight of Cups lined up with the marriage and this passion for this energy. So the pyramids in the background represent the wanting to explore the wonders of life. The thing to remember about the Page of Wands energy, this is exuberant, masculine energy under the age of 20. And his love of adventure, like the element is the element of fire, of course. This is passionate action. And he is really admiring his wand. He looks up to it. And so this energy can be talking about, the Page of Wands tends to he quite often is thinking with his little head, because and so his information, you need to double check it. You need to make sure that it's, is this accurate information and communication? And it's not like that. It's someone that's not wanting to give you. It's just that his mind sometimes is on other things and he didn't notice something. And maybe that's why it would be beneficial to have two. Maybe you're both the same that way. So this is talking about having that joyfulness of life and some sort of information, communication coming in that will empower both of you to go on your destined journeys. So we have you focusing, working very hard here. We have a new lover coming through. The breadcrumbing energy being over with because you meet your soulmate. You're really passionate about being together, possibly even get married. We have this cup of love coming in here after you have, this is an energetic upgrade. And the Magician is pointing that the energetic upgrade is a lover. So I do feel this is most likely the scenario, but take what works for you and leave the rest. And this is after doing a lot of inner work. God's judgment is that it's time for the two of you to come together. And it's kind of like you don't have to be worried about being in competition with each other or any of that energy. It's just really a very strong love that is really beneficial for both of you. And this was after going through this dark night of the soul, whatever happened here. And healing from that energy by climbing that mountain and doing the work, doing the inner work to be able to be in a leadership role and attract this energy. So this is a really good reading. It's talking about some real powerful energy, using your intuition as well as your logic. Whoopee. So I'm going to clarify for those that want clarification. My oracle, the numbers on these cards will represent the paintings. I started them in 2007, and in 2020 I completed all 64 paintings. Like this painting, this is a reproduction, so this painting is actually 3 feet by 4 feet. It has a lot of crystals embedded into it, and each of them are from a different area. This one I finished in 2020. I think it was 2020. It was one of the last paintings I did. And it was really interesting because all of these poppies kept coming up, and I was like really, I was like, what is all that about? And then when I looked it up, the Ukrainian war started about 22. I mean, it had been going on. It's been going on forever, but it went full fury like it is now I think it was sometime in 2022. And my maternal grandmother was Ukrainian. And so I feel like this is her energy coming through. Grandma Anna. She made the best cinnamon buns, pierogies, you name it. She was very, very good at that. And so the numbers on these cards are representing the energy of, or the paintings as they're listed in the gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. If you want, you can check it out. I will put them in the order they appear here so that you can take a look at them if you want, and you'll know which ones to look for. Now, we have indifference. So this is this energy of we're all in it together, but we're not all in it together, because someone like this can actually talk about, if in the negative, this card could be talking about other people working hard to do money laundering, forgery, counterfeit, you know, that type of energy, and breadcrumbing you while you're working so hard. They're feeding off your energy and possibly your money, and you may not be aware, and they're indifferent to your suffering, and they'll smile in your face and, oh yeah, we're all in it together, but behind your back they're working very hard to get their hands on this. And then we have the Hangman, and this is talking about, this energy may have been hanging around for quite some time, even from when you were a child, when we have the information coming in from around the time that you were between 7 to 21 years of age. It could have been something that was happening around then. This the Hangman hangs from the Tree of Knowledge, and he's upside down because he wants to look at something from every perspective so that he can gain insight and be able to use his intuitive abilities as well as his logic, looking at it from, and when his aura lights up around his head, he gets down from the tree and he takes action. And sometimes this can be talking about being stuck because you're hanging around with the wrong people. You know, like people that hang upside down, like energetic vampires. And then we have the Aries energy. There has been a lot of planets that have moved into the sign of Aries, and in the last year, like in the last 6 months in particular. And so on the planet, there's a whole lot of new energy coming through right now. And a lot of us are feeling this. You know, it's a lot of real different, having to learn things differently. That with the AI, there's just a lot of new energy. Aries represents the first sign in the zodiac, and this is the infant. And it's talking about, you know, if you've ever had an infant in the house, and you know how when they cry, everybody's running. How can we please the baby? It's kind of like trying to figure out how to do things to please everybody in your life. And I feel that you got caught up in that energy. This is talking, you know, you're called a human being, not a human doing. So you have to know when to draw the line and say, I'm not carrying burdens for other people. And then we have the Taurus energy, which is learning this give and take here. This is exactly what this is about. You know, you could really love people, but just because you love them doesn't mean that they treat you well. And so this is about the give and take. Is it a fair exchange of energy? If not, you need to do something about it, because it's depleting your energy. And also, this is the toddler. So we've got the infant and now the toddler. You know, if you've ever taken, you know, tried to get a toddler, they're so lovable and cute, and they're learning so much, and they're asking why. They're so interested, you know, in life and what makes things work. But if you try and get them to share their favorite toy, they will freak out. They're like a bull in a china shop, throwing that temper tantrum, you know, at the checkout when they do that in the grocery store. They always have the candy at the checkout. You may have noticed that. And so this is talking about, you know, learning to be mature about competition and about, you know, how much energy you're willing to invest in others, and making sure that you understand the best investment is in yourself, and making sure that you're strong enough to give to others. If you give too much of yourself away, you might not make it to the finish line, and then you're not going to empower anyone. Now, when my horoscope signs come up in my readings, I just want you to be aware, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the qualities of the signs, the state of being. So every sign has its strengths and weaknesses, and if you ever get your birth chart done, you'll find that you have this energy somewhere in your chart, And we can all learn from this a lot about, because each of the signs has their strengths and weaknesses and their specialties. And so I just want you to be aware of that. In this reading, you could be like, no, Colette, there is an Aries and there is a Taurus involved, and use your intuition on that. I just want you to be aware that that's not my goal, is to point out individual people in my readings. And then we have surrender. So this is talking about using your psychic energy again and doing a psychic cleanse, so you really understand what is really burdening you down. Some of this could be energy from your ancestors trying to get in touch with you, because there's something that needs to be cleared up in the bloodline. And so the saying is, it's cold in here, there must be something in the atmosphere. And this is talking about when your spirits come around, like your ancestors, and they've crossed over in the veil, sometimes you'll feel like a cool breeze, and that sometimes is representative. Or the lights will be blinking, and they use technology to get your attention sometimes, or sometimes they'll show up in your dreams, because that's when your mind isn't thinking and you're in a different state. We have the Earth Star energy. This is about manifesting in a strong way, being a powerful manifester. And I feel, if this is a lover, of course, this is the sacral chakra energy. This is where we produce babies from that energy. And all our other creative endeavors. A lot of people will say, my business is my baby. So it doesn't have to be a baby, but it could be something that you're working on that really is close to your heart. And then we have, we have dissension. Yeah, this is sitting on, wow, look at this. This is sitting on this energy here of having a strong foundation. And, it's talking about this energy partly with friends like this, who needs enemies. So you may have been swimming with some sharks, like literally. You know what I'm saying? This can represent not just working, like this is literal, like counterfeit energy, money laundering energy. You may have had friends that you may be swimming with sharks, and maybe you didn't know it. So this is dissension, people who like to create confusion around you, and maybe trying to confuse you with them, so that if this energy, you're working so hard on it, this can represent identity theft, forgery, money laundering, sometimes gambling, that type of energy. So just be aware. And then we have Gemini coming out. Okay, so Gemini is coming out a lot in the readings because of Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is about communication, and we do have Mercury in retrograde right now since June 29th, and we do have a new moon as well right now in the sign of Cancer. So if you want to know more about that, you can check out my new moon, full moon reading. I did a reading actually for the middle of July, and I included the new moon reading in that. So this is significant because Uranus, and it's coming up in a lot of the readings, Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini about a month and a half ago. And this energy we haven't had Uranus in Gemini since 1941 to 1949. And it's sitting on this sibling rivalry and this judgment with the ancestors here. And this is coming up a lot. This can represent, 1941 to 1949 was the last time Uranus was in Gemini. And that was during World War II energy and the aftermath. And this is, the bottom line is Uranus in Gemini wants to have the truth come out. And so there's some sort of truth that maybe you're going to find out with this information coming through that is relevant to when you were younger. And remember, this can be skeletons coming out of the family closet. So Uranus in Gemini is going to be here until 2033. So another 7.5 to 8 years of this. You may have been noticing it when you watch things online right now. There's a lot of truths coming out. Like the files were the beginning of it, but now it's like, whoa, there's all sorts of shift coming out. And what's interesting is, in typical Gemini fashion, it's coming in from all directions. You never know how it's going to come out, and it's kind of weird energy. It's like the truth is coming out, and some real weird truths are coming out. Like, what? And they're coming out in weird ways as well. So this Gemini energy is coming in often. And then we have Capricorn energy. Yes, having ambition. Capricorn is the most ambitious sign because it's the most mature of the pentacles. So it's talking about being able to see the possibilities and all the challenges, and taking that and doing things responsibly. So taking consistent steps of action and staying on your destined path rather than cheating, to be able to get that trophy, rather than doing the work yourself. Like to actually take the consistent steps of action necessary to be able to move forward. We'll do one more here at the top. We have Virgo. Okay, so the Virgo energy, this card is also coming out a lot. Look at, we have Mercury and Mercury. This is saying to remember, I feel, that right at this time, communication is can be very strange because of Mercury being in retrograde until July 23rd, basically. Both of these signs are ruled by the Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury. So it's talking about having that communication and being aware of that, especially with this new moon energy at this time. This is when there's new moons and full moons, that's when we tend to be very emotional. So it's just reminding you to double check what the Page of Wands is saying, because sometimes his enthusiasm and his passion is, clouds his vision a little bit. And also remember, the truth is coming out. So this can be emotional. It's saying check yourself right now. Don't be, check your information and check your emotions. Do your best to be like, to have victory. You need to rein your emotions in, discipline your mind here to get good results at this time on the planet. And it's also saying that this communication is a two-way street, I feel. By a two-way street, I mean, sometimes the technology can be used in a really positive way, and sometimes it can be used in a really negative way. And so sometimes people who are engaged in this energy have a tendency to use the technology in a certain way, but it's kind of like the crystal energy. It's a two-way street. So, they may be using technology to spy on others or on you, and using your information in some way that they shouldn't be. But them doing that, you can't, it's imprinted somewhere, like it's in the, it's in the, your internet, in your footprint, you are going to have a footprint from all your computer usage and that communication back and forth. So that's a two-way street, and you can't avoid it. Like if people, this can sometimes be, I don't know what it's trying to say exactly. Maybe it's because of this energy here between the, with what's happening in the Ukraine right now, and all of the, like everything about that. It can be talking about like that back and forth energy that's, spy energy or whatever, because of that going on there. But that is a two-way street. It can always be seen. You're always going to leave a digital footprint, even if you try very hard not to. There's ways that it always shows up. And I guess what it's also saying is the universe also has a digital footprint. So God doesn't forget, and neither does the universe. All right, so I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you for your time and energy. Likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and I will be back with another reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now.